Welcome back to the podcast de Philippe, everyone. Today we're diving deep into something I know a lot of you are really interested in.
Tesla.
Yeah, Tesla, and specifically its stock. You know, we've all seen the news, we've all been following it, and I know there's been some buzz about,
A crash.
yeah, potential crash.
Going to zero.
Yeah.
The end of Tesla.
So we wanted to take a closer look at that today.
All right.
See what's really going on. And, we did a quick study with Gemini and ChatGPT.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yeah, they both had some really interesting things to say
I bet.
about the future of Tesla.
Yeah. So what did they have to say? Are we all doomed? Is Tesla going to zero?
Well, that's what we're going to find out today.
Okay.
But before we jump into all that, if you're enjoying the show and you want to see more deep dives like this, head over to YouTube.
Yes.
Hit that subscribe button.
Subscribe.
Help us get to 1,000 subscribers today.
Oh, we need you.
Every single one counts.
Oh, Tesla stock.
Huh. Yeah. So let's get into it.
Okay.
So both Gemini and ChatGPT ran these really interesting simulations
Right.
looking at Tesla's stock performance over the next few years.
Okay.
And, I gotta say the results are a little bit surprising.
Oh, really? So they're saying that there's a chance that Tesla could actually crash.
Well, not exactly. They both said a complete crash is highly unlikely. But it's not impossible.
Okay. So there's a chance, however small.
Yeah, a tiny chance.
What would it take? I mean, what are we talking about here?
Well, they looked at a few key things.
Right.
One big one is competition.
Right. The EV market's getting pretty crowded these days.
Exactly.
A lot of new players.
Yeah, so if Tesla starts losing market share to these other companies, that could definitely have an impact.
Makes sense. What else? What else did they look at?
Well, another big factor is
Production.
production.
Yeah.
Tesla's had some trouble in the past meeting demand.
Yeah.
And scaling up production.
Yeah. If they can't get the cars out there, then people are going to lose confidence.
Exactly. And then there's the
the Elon factor.
Yeah, Elon Musk factor.
Yeah, his tweets definitely have a way of moving markets.
Oh, absolutely. He can be unpredictable.
Yeah.
And that makes investors nervous sometimes.
Right. So we've got competition, production challenges, and the wild card that is Elon Musk. That's a pretty potent mix.
Yeah, it is. And, the AI models, they took all these factors and they kind of put them together to see what could happen.
To simulate some potential scenarios.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And that's where things get really interesting.
So spill the beans. What did the AI find? Did they paint a rosy picture for Tesla's future, or was it more of a cautionary tale?
Well, let's just say the AI definitely gave us some food for thought.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Lay it on me. What kind of scenarios did these AI models cook up? Okay, so tell me about these scenarios.
Okay, so first, let's talk about Gemini. Now, Gemini took a pretty simplified approach.
Yeah.
Basically, it projected a gradual decline in Tesla's stock value, starting with a pretty big drop, like a 50% drop.
Wow.
In the first year.
Okay.
And then it kind of gradually goes down from there.
So it's like a slow bleed.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
And over 7 years, it basically gets down to
Zero.
almost zero. Yeah, like a fraction of a cent.
Wow. Okay, so Gemini's painting a pretty grim picture there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not pretty.
So what about ChatGPT? Did it have a different take?
Yeah, ChatGPT was a little bit different.
Okay.
It factored in a few more things.
Like what?
Like the current downward trend of Tesla's stock.
Mm-hmm.
It's been kind of struggling lately.
Yeah.
And then it also looked at decreased sales. And then, of course, the Elon Musk factor.
Right. His impact on market sentiment.
Exactly. So it basically took all that and said, okay, if these trends continue, Tesla could hit zero by February 2027.
Okay, so a little faster timeline than Gemini.
Yeah, a little bit faster.
But still, based on the same idea that these negative trends are going to keep going.
Right. Exactly.
It's fascinating, though, isn't it? I mean, they both came to relatively similar conclusions.
I know. It's really interesting.
With different methodologies.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the point, right? They're both highlighting these potential vulnerabilities.
Yeah. I think that's a really important takeaway.
So it's not necessarily a prediction.
Right.
It's more like a what if.
Yeah. It's like a warning.
Okay.
Hey, these are some things you need to be aware of.
Right. Pay attention to these things.
Yeah.
Because they could have a big impact.
Exactly.
It makes you think, doesn't it? I mean, no company is too big to fail, right?
Right.
We've seen that time and time again.
Absolutely. And I think that's a really important lesson for investors.
Especially when it comes to something like Tesla.
Yeah. Which has had such a meteoric rise.
Right, exactly.
But what goes up
Must come down.
could come down. Yeah.
So the big question is, can we actually predict the future of the stock market? I mean, with all this AI and all this data.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is. I mean, are we getting any closer to that crystal ball?
Well, I don't know about a crystal ball, but I think these AI models, they're definitely giving us some really valuable insights.
They are. They're sophisticated. They can crunch numbers. They can analyze trends.
Yeah, but there's one thing they can't really account for.
What's that?
Human behavior.
Yeah.
The
X factor.
The X factor.
The emotions.
Fear, greed.
Speculation.
All that stuff.
It drives markets in a way that I don't think any AI can fully grasp.
Right. And that's why, it's important to take these AI predictions with a grain of salt.
Absolutely.
They're not gospel.
They're tools.
Yeah.
To help us understand possibilities, potential risks, but ultimately, responsible investing. It requires research. It requires a clear understanding of your financial goals.
Absolutely.
And a healthy dose of skepticism.
Yeah, always.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
No matter what you're investing in.
Okay, so where do we go from here? We've looked at the AI predictions. We've talked about the risks. We've talked about the potential. What's the takeaway for someone who's interested in Tesla, maybe thinking about investing, but also a little bit cautious given all the noise, all the different opinions out there?
I think it boils down to perspective, right?
Yeah.
You have to acknowledge the potential.
Yeah.
I mean, Tesla's doing some incredible things.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, you can't ignore the risks.
Right.
You got to have both sides of the equation.
Yeah, so don't get caught up in the hype.
Right.
But don't completely dismiss it either.
Yeah, exactly. A balancing act.
Do your research, stay informed,
Yeah.
and be prepared for the long haul.
Yeah. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme.
No.
This is about,
long-term
thinking.
Yeah. And really understanding, the company, the industry, all of that.
Exactly.
All right. Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive.
It has.
Into the world of Tesla and the stock market.
It really has.
I really appreciate your insights on this.
My pleasure. Always a good time chatting with you.
And to all our listeners out there, thank you for joining us on the Podcast de Philippe for this deep dive. Remember, knowledge is power. And the more you know, the better equipped you'll be to make informed decisions about your investments. Until next time, keep those brains engaged and keep exploring.